So hi guys, this is my very first game dev vlog of the new hit game Mighty Hero Legends 5000. This is the working title. In short, it's a roguelike old school RPG game and the best game of the world, a tribute. At first I'm gonna start with a short explanation of why it is going to be the best game and which ideas and influences have contributed to it. So you know what to expect in this highly produced, high-end, high-fidelity game dev vlog. Games. There are many definitions of games, and so there are also many different types of games. Brutal games, addicting games, simple, very complex games, competitive games. Some are scary, and others are interactive. So what are the inspiring concepts for the development of Mighty Hero Legends 2000? Diablo 2. More specifically, the general gameplay and loot system. You have a large amount of enemies and each dropped item is semi-randomly generated with different rarities. You are constantly improving your character with small upgrades. Also, the arena-like nature of the game really opens up replayability. So the gameplay is not heavy on the storyline, but run-based, like a cow run or a ball run, where zones are repeatedly generated. Exhibit number 2, Heroes of Might and Magic. The skill system from Might and Magic is very interesting. Upon leveling up, you get a random choice of skills, so it's a non-deterministic way of skilling your character. Also, each skill unlocks a variety of unique mechanisms, like the accessibility and effectiveness of game-changing spells like Dimension Door or Town Portal. But you cannot have unlimited amount of specialized skills, so your character doesn't become a jack of all trades. The solution I really like is from the RPG series Might and Magic, which has a cap on skills based on the selected character class. The town development aspect is also really cool. With new buildings you get access to game features or better spells. So it's not only your character that you upgrade over time, but town structures like merchants, mage guilds, certain production facilities or housing. None of these concepts are revolutionary, since the games having them are more than 20 years old. But capturing the essence and focusing on what made those games great may result in a refreshing but still familiar and enjoyable iteration. Okay, so let's talk about the actual game. What we have here is a character in a landscape. This is obviously Unreal Engine 5. The character has a inventory in here with spells that he can cast. For example, this one here. Which acts as a mine or a teleportation spell. The character can also equip weapons with different types, for example melee weapon or a bow. Also different types of arrows, like the explosive arrows. There are also enemies already in the game. Those are archers. They have an AI, so you can fight against them. The combat itself, the character movement and controls, as well as those enemies and inventory systems, everything of that is from a board package from the dynamic combat system, so it's not implemented by myself, but I'm building upon this foundation, basically, the game. Those white dots are loot, which came also with the dynamic combat system. And here you can see that all of those items they have the lowest rarity, they are gray, but some of them can be of higher rarity, they can have attributes. And I just triggered the mage AI, those two. They are able to cast spells, summon minions, teleport, throw fireballs, basically cast all the spells that are currently there. And then there's also this AI here, which is a summoner that I created from the mage. And the only spell he has is summon minions. And I think this is kind of the way that I want the game to be, somewhat in that direction, to have few strong monsters or NPCs and many of those types that can be just like in a hack and slay or something, farmed with high abundances. And the last point that I wanted to show is the level up. So there's experience assigned after killing a monster, and then there's a character sheet which is really prototype. So after killing enough enemies and gaining experience, the player gets a level up and attribute points and so on, and this is how the player character can be developed. Regarding the gameplay that I currently have in mind is that I will have a town around here and maybe, I don't know, some enemy territory or a spawner or any trigger to start the fight of kind of an arena-like fight. And after the fight is done, loot and maybe resources or something can be extracted from it, and this can then be used to go to the town and improve your character, improve the town, upgrade stuff, level up and so on, and start a new round of the arena fighting, whatever. So this is going to be the first MVP, the prototype, the basic concept without too much of landscape generation or content creation necessary. So just to test the system, the gameplay loop. The footage that you see here is from the first prototype that I made with a friend, and as you can see here, this is the prototype of the combat system as well. And what I wanted to show you here is the concept of an RPG. So going at the doors, this is heavily influenced by Might and Magic RPG series, or even more classic RPGs. Like you go to the door, you don't have hyper-realistic houses where you can enter and talk with the NPCs in there and have close-up of their faces and mouth movement and so on, but you go to the door, activate the door, and there's a face with some dialogue, and you have some dialogue options. And the same would go for the characters, so if you talk with the character, then also this dialogue window opens up with dialogue options. So some of this stuff will be also implemented into the new game Mighty Hero Legends 2500. And here you can see the well that I tried to do with Blender, and it just looks like a mess. There's no way I can do any assets on my own in my free time and make them everything look good. Here you can also see the day and night cycle, so I want to implement a clock with days and nights, so all the merchants, they are only open at certain times, as well as the inn, where there are different events at certain days in the month. And if you want to visit a merchant or a specific event, then you have to go to the inn and sleep there until the specific time. Alright, this was my first game devlog, and we'll see what's coming up in the future. I have many ideas and concepts that I want to implement, and I didn't get into too much detail on specifics of the current game or how I want it to be. But I think in the next and upcoming videos there will be much more time to focus on single aspects and mechanisms a little more. But these updates, they won't be too frequent because I'm working full-time and this is just a hobby. So if you don't want to miss any future updates of the tribute to the best games of the world, Mighty Hero Legends 69, you might consider subscribing. Anyway, see you next time.